There is a book that has been slowly popping up around the Rhotic Empire called the Codex Mysteria. Written by Ignatius Curvanus, a traveling mage from the Collegium Arcanum, it goes in depth on the true nature of the Fae and the realm they come from, Faerie. The tome is a collection of myths and legends gathered by the scholar, as well as his own encounters with the Fae. One of the stories that can be found among the pages explains the origin of the Fae's greatest weakness, the curse of the Iron Dragon. Welcome, travelers. For those of you new to the channel, Acleon Chronicles is a world-building project that I've been working on for over a decade now. Acleon is a world of magic, intrigue, and conflict, reflected in the people who populate it. My videos are a collection of art process, storytelling, and lore exploration. For a long time, all this creativity was only seen through my D&D campaigns and the comics I illustrated. There's so much to Acleon that I want to share with the world, and that's why I started this channel. I won't let all this work go to waste. If this is your jam, then please like, subscribe, and comment on this video, and tell me where in Acleon you would like to explore next. Within the land of Faerie, the Wild Fae reign supreme. However, their powers pale in comparison to that of the mighty dragons. Jealous of their dominion over all, one wise and clever Fae schemed to change that. Sohair was mother to many of the Wild Fae, and father to even more. Though powerful in their own right, their influence did not stretch beyond the veil between Faerie and the mortal realm. Dragons, on the other hand, were the only beings gifted with the ability to travel between the realms. Divine elementals, dragons were charged with safeguarding the veil and preventing any stray wisps of raw magic from touching the mortal realm. Sohair had spent many aeons watching Acleon through the veil, and when her eyes fell upon a young iron dragon, the Wild Fae saw her chance to obtain her desires. Ferelith had seen the creation of 7 Duatha Damar cities, and though his scales had not yet reddened with rust, believed he was wise to the ways of the world. So while flying over the forests of Faerie, the dragon felt no fear or apprehension when he came across Sohair. Dressed in her finest she-fae form, Sohair greeted Ferelith and complimented him on his lustrous scales. The young dragon was instantly smitten with the Wild Fae, for it is well known that all but the Silk Dragons are at least a little touched by vanity. The two spent a day and a night exchanging loving words, until on the second day, Sohair convinced Ferelith to accompany her back to her hill. That night, the two were joined as one, and upon their release, Sohair was left with child. Ferelith was so completely enamored with the Wild Fae that he did not catch the gleam of victory in her eyes. As the young dragon drifted off to sleep, Sohair stole herself away, traveling to the farthest depths of Faerie in search of an ideal nest to lie in wait her pregnancy through. When Ferelith woke from his slumber, he was shocked to find his beloved missing. After desperately searching the entire hill, the young dragon went into a hot frenzy with fear and panic. What could have happened to her? Had she been kidnapped? Was she hurt? The young dragon flew far and wide in search for Sohair, but found no trace of the Wild Fae, not until he came across a toothless old man. "Papa, I am in search of my beloved," Ferelith proclaimed. "Have you seen her?" The old Fae mashed his gums, twirled his long beard, and eyed the dragon. I may be of some help, but I will need something in return. Anything, for my love, anything." Papa grinned a toothless grin. For knowledge to continue your quest, all I ask for is teeth so I may eat once more. Feralith pondered over this request for only a breath, then gifted the old fae all 63 of his teeth. After properly arranging them in his mouth, Papa smiled to the dragon. Past that hill, you will come across Mercurus, whose quicksilver feet have brought him to the farthest corners of Faerie. If anyone knows where your beloved is, he will. And with that, Feralith was off again. Over the hill he went, and soon came across the tallest fae he had ever seen. Mercurus, I am in search of my beloved, Feralith proclaimed. Have you seen her? Mercurus looked up into the sky, then back at the dragon. I may be of some help, but I will need something in return. Anything. For my love, anything. Mercurus looked up again and smiled. For knowledge to continue your quest, all I ask for is wings so I can catch the stars between winks. Feralith pondered over this request for only a breath, then gifted the tall fae the 2 wings on his back. Mercurus tied the wings around his neck like a cloak and smiled to the dragon. Through that cave and beyond the lake there rests the wise and ever-vigilant Odith. His pixie wives trade in secrets and whispers. If anyone knows where your beloved is, he will. Frustrated, Feralith ran through the cave and swam over the lake, and soon came across a small cottage at the edge of a dark forest. Sitting outside, a fae wearing a long-brimmed conical hat smoked a slender pipe. 12 onyx-skinned pixies swarmed around the young dragon as he approached. Odith, I am in search of my beloved, Feralith proclaimed. Have you seen her? Odith bit down on the stem of his pipe and took in the wingless, toothless dragon. I know exactly where your beloved be, but I will need something in return. Angered, Feralith answered as he did before, but slower. Anything. For my love, anything. Odith took the pipe out of his mouth. For the location of your beloved, all I ask for are claws to arm my pixie wives against the wisps that hunger to eat them. Feralith pondered over this request long and hard. Finally, he gifted the fae all 12 of his claws. Odith fashioned each claw into a sword and handed, one by one, to his pixie wives. After doing so, he turned to Feralith and puffed out a billowing cloud of smoke. Beyond that forest be a valley. At its center, your beloved has made herself a nest. With the fire in his heart rekindled, Feralith charged through the forest and entered the valley. Soon he came upon Sohair's nest and found her just as she was giving birth. Streams of multicolored light spiraled out from between her legs as their child took their first breath. The child was unlike anything the 2 parents had ever seen before. Fully grown, his skin was as dark and lustrous as onyx. To Feralith's horror, his shoulders were draped with a cape made of iron wings. His belt was adorned with 12 claw-shaped daggers. And when he smiled for the first time, 63 iron teeth reflected the light around them. Sohair smiled down at her offspring. Welcome, my child. Now, do what you were sired for and take me beyond the veil. The scion smiled wickedly at the wild fae. Oh, dearest mother, I did not agree to any terms before you gave me life, so I owe nothing to you. My life is to do with as I please. He turned to Feralith and bowed deeply. Thank you, Father, for the gifts you offered up. I will use them well. And before either the dragon or the wild fae could react, their child leaped into the sky and soared away. As he realized what had happened, Fairlith was overcome with rage at the betrayal, so much so that every fiber of his being wanted to punish the creature who had stolen his heart. But without teeth to bite, wings to flap, or claws to slash, there was little that the young dragon could do, save for one thing. Fairlith drew forth his soul, and with it all the magic he controlled, and made one wish: that Sohair and all of her kind could never feel the touch of iron on their skin without it burning like the hottest of coals. As his curse spread throughout Faerie, Fairlith wrapped his body around Sohair. Without a soul to give him life, the dragon was nothing more than an iron cage that would imprison the wild fae for all eternity.